Welcome back to another episode of The Ether, where we disrupt your thinking, challenge the status quo, and illuminate the path to easier business success. I'm your host, Brandon Gano, joined by my co-host, Sean Delaney, the creator, founder, and mastermind behind Whadif, where we exist to demonstrate the acceleration, ease, and joy that comes from running a truly harmonious business. Let's dive in to another episode and grow your business. Whoa, new show, new intro. Sean, I'm pumped up today. How are you feeling?
Love it. It's a little smoky in here from the intro. I love it. I love it. It is the essence of the thing they were putting together, the ether. Love it.
That is correct. Yes, the show name, we've officially named it The Ether. If you were watching it last week, we put a number of names on the screen and we said they all suck. So here we are. We are The Ether. But let's dive in real quick. So I want to talk about why we came up with this name, because as you've said on this show, in our inner circle, every time we talk to anybody, everything we do at Whadif has a purpose unless it doesn't, which is semi-confusing and it gets me every single day. But this show was purposefully named, the title, the subtitle, the intro, it all has a purpose and it all relates to growing your business with simplicity, ease, and joy. And let's break that down. What is ether, first and foremost?
So ether, as we use it, well, it's a lot of things, but for us, it's that essence of what we're trying to do. It's that feel, it's that place. And Brandon is good at laying down the ether, the context, the getting everybody aligned in the right place to hear what we're talking about, because we're talking about really disruptive things here all day, every day. And so the ether is that essence that flows through what we do, and it is combustible. And so then we ignite that stuff. I don't know, do I have to make this? Who's listening? We ignite that shit and blow it up to be disruptive, but in a way that the ether is still there afterwards. The architecture is still there. We don't blow up your thinking on things and then leave you to just flutter in the wind. No, we ground in the architecture. We ground in the principles we're talking about. We ground in the system of running your business. But we got to be a little disruptive. And the ether is the thing that seeps between the cracks and lays down the essence, the feel, the je ne sais quoi.
Yes, exactly.
I'm going to go French today.
I had no idea. I didn't know you spoke French. Apologize if your kids are in the car with you while you're listening. You said some naughty words there, but we'll get over it.
They don't speak French. They don't know.
Not that one
Pardon
before.
I don't speak French. I don't know what I said.
Oh, I don't either, but that's okay. Anyway, so that's the ether. Now, in terms of being disruptive and igniting the spark in your business, that's of course what we do for our clients. When you speak on stage, when we speak on podcasts, whatever it may be, our entire mission is to make somebody go, huh, that's interesting. There might be something there. That's the initial spark that will help the ether combust and
that's
explode.
all we're doing. Yeah, that's it. Micro wins to get to the place. In every interaction we have with people, or yes, on stage, I even say it at the beginning, is the only thing. There will be a diagnostic at the end that's going to tell you the entire architecture I'm talking about. So you don't have to worry about taking notes. Just listen, be open to it, and then let the ether permeate your thinking. Then we're going to disrupt on that, blow it all up, and bring you back. But we do that by just in those interactions getting you to go, huh, yeah, what if it doesn't have to be as hard as I'm making it? What if I could put down the yoke of all the things that I'm carrying, trying to chase some institutional corporatized model that is broken anyway and isn't going to get me there. I can't replicate what they're doing, and I wouldn't want to. I'm replicating it because I have no guidance as to how to build a giant monolithic business. So I look at the giant monolithic businesses to be my model. And the thing is, they're digging in the wrong place. They're missing the mark. We know this. If you've worked in a big corporate environment, you know it. You're like, how were 5 of the last 20 people I talked to? I don't know how these people are working anywhere, let alone here with the titles and salaries they have. How is this possible? What is going on? There's a lot of massaging out of the idiocy. No one of us is as stupid as all of us, right? So institutionalized stupid decisions is a thing anybody in that environment deals with all the time. I say, how is this possible? Well, because there's an architecture there, there's a structure there, and departments are kind of talking to each other a little bit. And there's an enormous amount of money, usually not theirs if it's a publicly traded company. There's money everywhere, and money makes stupid not as impactful. How's that?
If
And
that's not a
so,
disruption, I don't know what is.
right? And so, anyway, but all it is to go, yeah, maybe I don't have to do that. And then the conversation is to start.
Yeah, and I find it interesting too when I talk to other entrepreneurs online, whatever it is, Facebook, LinkedIn, wherever. The conversation usually takes a similar path. So I'll give you a real life example. We'll go all over the place in this episode, and then I promise we'll bring it back. We'll put a nice little bow on it at the end. So we have a sprint, a 30-day sprint going on starting today, as of the recording of this, whenever you're listening to it, and it's focused around our discipline of ubiquity, which we define as traditionally sales and marketing. A number of other things go on there. We could break that down. Actually, Sean, I think we broke it down last week. So go listen to last week's episode if you want to know more about ubiquity. But we're doing a 30-day sprint. We said, okay, we want to work with 5 people who want to totally overhaul their marketing because it's confused, it's not effective, whatever it is. We want to make it effective and actually work to grow your business. The 5 people that we brought on for this 30-day sprint all had very similar stories. And I said, what's your biggest struggle with marketing? And it was something along the lines of, I don't know what metrics to use with my marketing. I don't know how I'm not communicating with the right people. I'm not measuring the right things. It was these common trends of what people said. And I exposed them, if you will, to the spark of the architecture of Harmonious. And it's always a question of, what if you're maybe digging in the wrong spot? Your marketing might not be effective because, well, if you don't know who you're marketing to, that's not a marketing problem. That's a business problem. You have not clearly defined your ideal avatar. So I'm super excited to dive in for these next 30 days. And of course, you, the Ether listeners, we're going to keep you updated on their progress. But the first thing that I want to disrupt is the metrics part, because that I had an interesting experience yesterday, and it related to metrics, but it's something that I see over and over and over in the business world, in regular everyday life. And for me, it was, and I want to get your live reaction here. I went to the doctor yesterday and I gained 10 pounds since the last doctor visit, which was 4 months ago. How do you feel about that?
Well, I feel like unless I knew where you had started, what your health goals were, why that weight gain happened, I don't know, to congratulate you or to say, I'm so sorry, how can we fix this? Because I need a baseline. Did you lead me right to the place that you wanted me to be?
No, I led you and any other consultant to the same place, and you just happened to take the right path. But tell me what most business consultants would say in that scenario, or most common people, if you will.
If you give me your credit card, I'll come and fix your marketing, because the answer is, if your issue is marketing, then clearly it's a marketing problem. So I'm going to dive into your marketing. I'm going to rip it apart. I'm going to tell you how I do marketing in my business, because I'm a marketing expert. You saw me on stage as a marketing expert talking about marketing and how much marketing is the only answer for everything. And if you need clients, money fixes all problems. So the only way you get money is for more clients. So let's go hard charging at more clients. We're going to flood them in, and it'll all work out. And
That's weird. I don't know how marketing has to do with gaining weight, but you're the boss, right?
No, but you said, what would they say?
Yeah.
So in the consulting world, it would be, let's go in there, but they wouldn't take the baseline. They would just get to where they think that you should go based on the only tool they have. Right? Because a lot of times, I'll get back to your weight. Do you want to stay on your weight loss and play that out? Or do you want
No, I'm going to give you the real life example of what happened. And it was exactly what you're going to say about business, which completely shocked me. But continue with this example, because you're spot on.
From the marketing standpoint. When they come to us, so business will come to us with marketing problems, and very rarely is the marketing problem a marketing problem. Because as you said, we'll ask the questions of, yeah, marketing, we'll get there. But who are we marketing to? Well, it could be these people, could be these people. They either have too broad, too narrow, they've drilled past the core, and they're like too deep, and they're too niched down. They didn't niche to the need and speak to the person. They niched to the person, and that person was too deep into whatever niche they're trying to do. We have visuals for all this at some point, but I know we're not trying to do that here. But my point is here to get you to go, is 90% of the time when people come to us for marketing problems, it's not a marketing problem. It's a strategy problem. It's a navigation problem, as we call it. It's a metrics problem. It's a focus problem. It's a time management problem. It's all the other disciplines and the links between that and their marketing. Once we sort of sort that stuff out, now we can talk marketing. And now the 20% of effort they were putting in before will get them 80% of the effect. And they go, how's this possible? I'm doing less with more to get more. That's incredible. How'd you do it? Well, we had to do all the other stuff. We didn't go where you said to go any more than if I went to the doctor and said, my 2 fingers are numb here, so I want you to look at my spine here in my neck because I'm pretty sure it's a spine problem. They said, well, let's take your blood pressure, this, that, and we're going to do some tests. We're going to say, no. I already told you what it is. Fix this. And I'm like, well, it may not be that. You have to do a little digging. But please, is that where you wanted me to go? There's lots of ways we can go there, but tell me what happened with your weight loss example or weight gain example.
Weight gain.
I have been eating more.
It's the beginning of the year. I should be losing weight, right? Oh man, I did it. I must have done it wrong. No, so I was actually blown away by what actually happened, because it's happened in the past with doctors. I'm not a huge fan of the healthcare system in this country, so disclaimer on the episode. But yeah, her first response. This is the first time I'm seeing this woman. This is a new doctor.
There are women doctors now. Now I've heard everything. Next thing you're gonna know, you tell me they also are pilots. This is what happens when you give them the right to vote. I'm sorry, I'm being distracted.
now we fully disrupted you.
Kidding. If you don't get it though, please.
Right. We're not your people.
Get on the phone with us, please. Go ahead.
Another disclaimer and full disclosure, most of our clients are women, and we love them because they actually execute and get things done, whereas men may have an ego problem sometimes. So
oh my God.
Keep that in mind.
I have a woman doctor, especially because
I do too. So this woman, it's the first time I'm meeting her.
Yeah.
She sees everything going on, and her first response, all she was comparing was the weight side by side, and she starts talking to me about blood pressure and cholesterol medication and statins. Ooh. And I, you can see my shoulders up on here. If you're watching, if you're listening, just take my word for it. I'm in very good shape and I'm very healthy. So I was kind of taken aback when she started saying this, and I was like, why is that what we're talking about right now? You haven't even seen blood work. You didn't take blood work, let alone you haven't known me for more than 5 minutes. You're just pushing a solution. And the way this relates to business,
they're dispensaries now.
They really are. It's baffling to me.
Yeah.
But that's in the business example, it's the same thing, because I see people, again, in these same Facebook groups where people will say, I have a marketing problem. I'm not getting enough leads. I'm not converting enough. And people immediately jump to solution. Whereas if you just asked like 4 questions, probably 1 question, you'd realize it's not a marketing, a lead, a conversion problem. It's something completely different. So for me, the 10 pounds was simply, I started aggressively working out 4 months ago with the intention of putting on muscle, not some bodybuilder, but getting healthier, stronger, putting on muscle. Muscle weighs more than fat. So yes, my weight increased. That was a plus result for me, but it led to statins and cholesterol medication that makes your body dependent on these things. And I'll just share my age as a 31-year-old to be put on statins, who's in healthy physical shape, to make my body dependent on medication is like her medical license should be revoked, is basically what I'm getting at. Yeah. But so should most business consultants. And we don't have licenses, unfortunately, but that's unfortunately what happens in 99% of situations in the business world.
There's an old saying that if all you have is a hammer, every problem looks like a nail. So if you are going into healthcare with the mindset of a dispensary, I have numbers on the page, and then there are a number of drugs I can prescribe based on each of those metrics. They just looked at it and said, this went up. We're going to pump you full of this, this, and this. And then when that stuff starts making something else go wonky, we're going to put you on something else to take care of that. I was on blood pressure medication for the longest time. I lost a bunch of weight. I'm taking my blood pressure all the time. It went way down. I was starting to get loopy. I stopped taking the meds. I didn't talk to my doctor. This is terrible advice. Please don't take any medical advice. We're only here for business advice. But I stopped taking it. Went back to the doctor. She's like, everything looks great. I said, I know, right? She's like, and okay. And so do you need refills on anything? I said, no, she stopped taking them. Why did you stop taking them? You just told me my blood pressure I feel great. All the numbers are great. Why would I keep? Well, you can't just stop taking them. Why not? I'd have to tell you. Well, what would you look at? Well, things like your blood pressure. I looked at that. You just looked at it. Why would I take more of these? This is ridiculous. Why am I here? So I'm going to be switching doctors. I told you the story. I don't know. This is probably not the show. If inside the inner circle, I'll tell the story about how I picked the doctor in the first place based on what was going to happen at my physical. It's a good story. Won't tell
this is definitely not the show.
Not the show.
We're not going to do that here.
Figuring out what the ether is. How much of this is just disruptive?
How much are we going to share? That would disrupt for sure.
Yeah. But the point you're making is, if all you have is a hammer, then every problem looks as a nail. If you are a consultant who sells marketing advice and somebody comes to you saying,
or if you hire that consultant as the business owner, two sides.
Oh, that too. Yeah. But let's just get into you don't walk into the car dealership or the service station and say, I'm definitely going to need a battery. But why don't you guys take a look at it and tell me if I do? I mean, you're getting a new battery now. You just walked in. Maybe not. Maybe not. There's probably some reputable people. There's definitely some reputable people out there. But often, if you walk into a place and say, gosh, I'm really excited to spend a lot of money on this, but I hope you tell me it's not. You're getting a new set of tires. You're getting everything because you walked in there saying, I think I have a really expensive marketing problem. Marketing consultant. Can you help me? And they said yes. Or you're joining a mastermind, you're joining some group because you think you have let's just say, marketing problem, and you're looking at this company. Now you're not looking at the big institutional companies, you're not looking at a Fortune 100. You're saying, tried that, it didn't work. I get to look at one of these people I see on YouTube all the time. I need to look at this influencer. I need to look at Frank Kern, right? What's he doing? And then you'll get all kinds of advice. And then you do that. And then it blows up the rest of your business. Why? Because they weren't looking at the rest of that. Brandon, you and I were in a mastermind together somewhere where they had that mentality. And you see them giving this advice to people, and it's blowing businesses up because, they're getting them more clients. But more clients into a broken system is the fastest way to destroy that system. Overwhelm it. And so they're not being cautious or careful because, of course, they don't have the whole answer. And I'm okay with it if they don't have the whole answer. If they say this isn't the whole answer and maybe you need other advice, but this is what works for us because we have all this stuff. And by the way, then when you peel back the onion, you find out that their business is a shit show. They have a really good polished show, right? The circus is great when you go to attend it. But then if you said, I want this kind of attention, they go, great, we're going to tell you how we built a circus. And then you build it and you go, this place is a fucking circus. And yes, it is a circus.
Imagine that.
You just saw the show. You loved it when the elephants all stood up on each other and did the thing. You don't know the metric ton of elephant crap we just had to shovel up backstage. There's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes. So you're going, they've got the answer because look at them. I see them everywhere. They must know marketing. They've got it dialed in. And they probably do. Now, the rest of the businesses, I just talked to somebody who I knew had taken a job with one of these groups. I'm not going to name the name. Lots and lots of people would know the name. And then now he's not working there anymore. And I said, what happened? And he said they had to sell the business. It turned out it was a complete wreck. They were just it was just money in droves, and they were spending it as fast as coming in, and they couldn't keep clients. It was just a churn and burn because all they knew was marketing and client acquisition. They knew F all about client fulfillment, about, well, a proper process automation. I mean, they had automation down on all the wrong things. They were hyper internally focused. Their stated mission and vision to the world didn't match how leadership was showing up. Lots and lots of problems that you could clearly trace if you know how to inject the dye into the system and see all the places it goes, and then understand the link between all of them and fix it. But most of these siloed, one-off places, sources of information, gurus, etc., they're only selling you a piece. And if you know how to take that piece and integrate, they're very well-meaning. I'm not saying, not attributing ill will to any of them. But if that's the only answer that they have, you need to have a broader perspective and say, this is just one component of a organism. My business is an organism. It's not a machine. Nobody wants to work for with a machine, although I guess that's where we're headed. Technology. Thanks a lot, technology. Anyway. But for right now, humans are still a part of the equation. And so business is actually more like a living, breathing organism than a machine, and it needs to be treated that way.
I agree. I wholeheartedly agree. And that's why, yeah, we have those people in our room as experts. We call them luminaries in our mastermind, the inner circle. And they understand that they are specialists in one of the disciplines, but they connect to the whole organism. And that's why we play so well together, because you don't have marketing specialists saying that they're the only thing that's going to grow your business. And you don't have HR specialists that say they're the one thing that's going to grow your business. And these people know they're true experts. They're leading their field kind of experts because they're that good, and they know how to zoom out and play well with us. So that's really what this show is about. The other side of what this show is about is business education, because a lot of people don't have that education. I went to school for business. I majored in business. I minored in entrepreneurship, which is an oxymoron in and of itself. I understand that. I understood it at the time. School's not my thing, for those of you first meeting me. But I did not know what I learned in business. It was nothing in comparison to what you actually need to know to run a successful company. And of course, I had to learn that stuff on my own outside of college. And that's really what we're helping people do here. So on next week's episode, we're going to start with a story that happened to me recently, where I was able to, using the harmonious architecture, save an investor over $100,000 because we could see that the company that she was hoping to buy had zero business knowledge and systems in place. So there's a little teaser for next week, but then we'll tell you what is the business education that you need. But Sean, ultimately, this show is about helping people grow their businesses, save them from disaster. And we're going to give you the inside look. We together at Whadif are building the world's greatest mastermind. I know that's the worst metric you could use, is the world's greatest, and being dramatic.
It's pretty
But
bad.
on the flip side, you have a company. I don't know if you want to share a little bit about it, but you are going to be the world's preeminent biodegradable packaging company. And we're going to give you a look inside both at the same time. And we're excited to bring you along on that journey on the ether. So Sean, I don't know if you want to tell 30 seconds on what you're doing over there.
All I'm going to say is this: as part of what we're doing in there is showing you what would you do if you suddenly had $100 million to spend on your business. That's it. That's a very pregnant period on there, but I was going to say more, but yeah, that's it. What would you do if you suddenly were given a check for $100 million and the investor said, go for it, make it happen? There's
Lamborghinis all around, bro.
Let's go, bro. There's a lot of things that you would have to do. There's a way to build this. And so frequently people will show you afterwards what they did, if they did that, if they even show you. But where you're going to see it live as it's happening. This is what we do, because we eat our own dog food here. We have an architecture. We're going to implement the architecture, and you're going to see how it makes. Yes, there's a million moving parts, and there's a lot to be done. but it makes way more sense, and it is much calmer, easier, more clearly focused building of a business when you have the architecture at the start. Can still obviously be done later on, but it's a unique opportunity that I don't think many people can share in their rooms.
Yeah, we're going to show you how to build two businesses at the same time, effortlessly, scalable businesses, 9-figure investment kind of businesses,
True.
and also how you can apply it in real time to your business. It's not a hey, look at us show. It's really
No.
let us help you do what we say to do and get those results. And then if you want to come join us in our room in the inner circle, we're going to put rocket fuel on that fire that you've built just from listening to these quick little episodes. So, Sean, that's going to be it. We already gave a tease for next week. We're going to show you how
we're gonna disrupt them. We're gonna get them to say, huh. And that huh is gonna get you to maybe take some action, maybe look into some other thing, maybe take the business architecture diagnostic that takes 8 minutes to tell you everything that we're talking about, the entire architecture. You're gonna have that. You're gonna know what we're talking about here. And every week we're gonna have you go, maybe, what if? That's it.
What if? What if you came back next week? What if you subscribed? That's what I'm going to say. Subscribe wherever you're listening, watching. We love you. We're here to support you and grow your business. We'll see you on the next Ether. Oh, that's cool. I like saying that. All right, we'll see you next week.